Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your February tarot forecast. I am so happy to have you here today. I'm hoping that this video works out. I've tried recording between you and Leo like the past 4 videos, and I keep having technical difficulties or dog difficulties, and I'm hoping to persevere through this round, okay? So let's just get right into things. So hopefully I can get back into the swing. I'm just going to talk about quickly how this spread is kind of laid out. This top row is going to be our main themes for the month. So just big overarching themes over the whole month. It could be separate themes. It could be all, working in unison, one kind of idea, overarching idea. This center row is going to be unexpected difficulties or challenges that we might be facing, these cards that are face down. And then on top of them, we have face up these solutions to these problems or a way to handle difficulties that come our way. Could be these, or it could be just anything that we end up facing throughout the month. Around these, we've got the oracle cards. So these two on the side here are mostly pertaining to this kind of solution row, but they can be applied to any of the cards in the spread. That's why they are on the outside. We have another one on this top main themes row. And then finishing out, we have this bottom row, which is going to be kind of the key concepts for the month. Things that we want to keep in mind, the lenses we want to look through when maybe we're establishing or evaluating relationships, decisions, situations, anything along those lines. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get started. Let's hope I make it through this whole video. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm trying to get all these videos out, and I have spent so many hours at this point making videos that I cannot use. So we're changing that right now. I am manifesting it. I am speaking it into existence. This is the video that's going to work out, and it's going to be the one that you're going to watch. And obviously, if you heard me say that, you're watching it, so I was right. Anywho, okay, let's start with Empress in reverse is our first card. Then we have the Four of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse also. So starting with the Empress, the Empress traditionally is that archetypal mothering role. She's nurturing. She has a very good balance between kind of home life and work life. She is very grounded, very self-assured, very self-sufficient. She is able to not only provide to others, but also seemingly, seamlessly provide to herself. So she has a good balance there. And she is kind of just this embodiment of archetypal femininity, which is very apparent. She has the sign for, I believe it's Venus down here. Woo! Oh my gosh. Apparently she's got attitude and some sass today. Anyways. So in the reverse, kind of what this is saying to me is we have some sort of disconnect, or maybe we are giving too much of something, too much of ourselves, too much of our time, emotion, feelings, investments, the weight we put on someone else's opinion. And we're not doing enough for ourselves. We are not pouring back into ourselves. And that really also kind of ties in with this Four of Cups right here. So Four of Cups is saying that he's disappointed. Something did not work out in the way that he wanted it to. He has, these 3 cups that are full, which you think would make someone happy, but, what he's not seeing is he has this 4th cup up here. He's just so focused on the disappointment, on the expectations that were not met, that he is just only looking at those and not this other option up here. And this option, this image up here also, that is the imagery for the Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups is talking about new creative ideas, birthing new ideas, new beginnings. All the aces are in reference to new beginnings. Excuse me, all the talking for these videos has my throat feeling some type of way. So, yeah, he's just too like immersed in his disappointment that he can't see the options that are available to him, or maybe he's seeing the options, but he's not viewing them in the context where it is positive for him. So let's hold that thought for a moment. Let's go over to this Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. This is talking about we planted some seeds. We went into something with a certain expectations. We put a lot of effort, work into it in order to harvest whatever it is that we were trying to grow, cultivate, establish. And in the reverse, what it's saying is what we got back are like return on investment or our harvest or just the outcome of whatever it is that we were investing in was not what we expected. So this ties along in really well with this Four of Cups, you know? So we put a lot of effort into something, be it new relationship, maybe it's a new job, career, new business path, new creative venture, artistic project, hobby. I feel like that is pretty encompassing of all things. And we did all this work, all this effort, all this time, all this money, all this mental energy, all this physical energy, all these things that we cannot, especially time, we can't get back. And it didn't work out. And so now we're feeling disappointed about whatever it is that didn't work out. And maybe we're feeling like we're kind of the cause of that. And we're having some self-doubt. We're having some moments of saying, well, if I hadn't done this would have been different and I wouldn't be in this situation. So another thing about the Empress, other than like she is this like archetypal mother, when you're thinking about an archetypal mother, a very common word to associate with that is nurturing. And in the reverse, to me, that's saying that you need to put more focus on nurturing yourself, nurturing your self-worth, your self-image, your self-perception, your self-confidence, your self-alignment. You're just not putting in the time and the thoughtfulness to do that. And I don't believe that that is a conscious thing. I don't think that you're doing that intentionally. I think maybe you just need me to say this as a reminder for you to take some time for you to really focus on that. Make sure that when you're taking these times, like if you're someone that meditates or if you are journaling or however it is that you work through and process emotions and ways of thinking, make sure within that you don't always focus on what is happening with other people, and you also focus on good things happening within yourself and cultivating that positive self-talk, positive self-image. Because if we can come from a place of positivity, then we're more likely going to be seeing these other options. And we know this because where is he? He's not operating under any kind of excuse me, any kind of positivity. He's disappointed. He's disappointed and he's focusing on whatever it is that did not work out. So yes, he's disappointed and he is focusing on his disappointment when if he just looked up, if he just looked from a place of optimism and of hope and of potential and of a different perspective, then maybe he would see this additional cup, this Ace of Cups, this beginning, this creation, this vessel of opportunity. And that's another thing that this is saying, just kind of, I guess maybe worded in a different way, is that be open to opportunity, because the suit of the cups, or if you want to refer to them as a chalice, is a open vessel. And in order for a vessel to hold something, it has to be empty. It has to be available to hold something. So if something is already full of water, we can't just pour a bunch more water in because it's already full. It's going to overflow. You're going to have a huge mess. It's going to be a problem. So that's the other thing that this is saying, is just really be not even just mindful of new opportunity, but emotionally and mentally open for that new opportunity should it present itself to you. Okay, the Seven of Pentacles, talking about something didn't work out like we wanted it to. This is the second time this has fallen over today. So I just think that grounding needs to be a main concern for you guys. Also, when I look at these cards, I really get that as well. Like Empress, of course. We got Four of Cups here is like literally sitting on the ground. Starlight, stop. And he is cultivating the ground. And this is Black Obsidian. So grounding, I would just really, really highly suggest that be top of your priority list. Okay, between my technology issues and my dog, we're struggling, guys. Please stick with me. I am sorry. I am trying my best, but I am not gonna get frustrated about it. Okay, moving on. Let's go down to this middle row. Unexpected challenges and ways to overcome, and some oracle cards. So let's, boom, boom, boom. Alrighty, we have got the Knight of Wands. Seven of Swords in reverse. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, reminder. These three are coming up as potential difficulties, okay? So while some of them might have a positive kind of context, generally, we're just going to view them differently, a little different perspective, and see if maybe they do come up positively in your life. Maybe this is something that you do see in your life, and right now you view it positively, but maybe if we talk about it a little differently, maybe if we change our perspective on it a little bit, we can see that maybe it's not such a positive thing, and maybe we might need to do some changes. So let's start with, I want to start this Ace of Pentacles, because Ace of Pentacles obviously having some correlation to Seven of Pentacles. Pentacle, okay? Let's start with this Ace of Pentacle, okay? Ace of Pentacle obviously is going to be related to the Seven of Pentacle in reverse. They're both Pentacles. And the real key relation that I see here is that Seven of Pentacles is saying that we put time and effort into something. We planted these seeds that we were expecting a certain return on. We did not get that return, and now we are disappointed. One thing I want to note about the Seven of Pentacles that I did not mention earlier is the guy in the picture here, he's still standing there with the shovel. Okay, to me that means that even though it didn't turn out how he wanted it to, he's still willing to work. He's not giving up on it. This is also indicative of this being a 7. We're not done with the cycle yet, so there is still more to go through. So he's still willing to put some effort into this, put some work into it. He's not giving up on it. So whatever it is, don't give up. Either don't give up on that specific situation. Right now, the message I'm getting is, if this is a relationship, if you're viewing this in the context of a relationship with somebody, which you very well could be, because we do have the Two of Cups, but I will get a little bit more specific about that here in a moment. If you are viewing this in the context of a relationship, there's two ways you can look at this, and I want to make sure to differentiate them so that they're both being communicated clearly. If you're looking at this in the context of a relationship, Two of Cups, okay? And whatever it was, it didn't work out. There's two things that we can view our little guy here as saying or signifying or representing. So either A, don't give up on that situation as a whole, or like in that situation specifically. So to me, this is more so saying if you are currently in a relationship and you are going through a time of struggle, of difficulty, of maybe this relationship is not getting the nurturing and the love that it needs to survive and thrive and be cultivated, then maybe you just need to come at things from a different perspective. Maybe you need to view the perspective of your partner or whomever this person is that you're in this type of relationship with. I would like to once again note that this does not mean specifically a romantic relationship between a man and a woman. It can be a relationship of any kind. Anything that's going to have an emotional impact on you. Could be work, could be friendship, could be romantic, could be a family dynamic. And the person that is with can be, anybody, or it could be multiple people. So just like a quick aside there. So it's either if you're in that and you guys are kind of going through like a little rough patch, don't give up. Maybe try and see things from their perspective and see if you can kind of work in a way that you guys can come together in harmony, which is what the Two of Cups is talking about, to become one, unity, harmony, balance. Also, on the note of balance, we have justice, which is fairness, truth, law, order, balance. And I think balance is a really key concept for you guys because we have these Two of Cups, and then this shape, this symbolism of these cups are once again mirrored in the scales of justice. So now we're seeing a correlation here between this Two of Cups, this Justice card. Both of them signify balance. So I do not believe this is any mistake. And they're on, there's only two cards that represent the solutions, but obviously it is balanced in where it's at in the spread. So balance is key. Oh, the other thing that I got off topic, I was talking about this. If you're not currently in a relationship, and maybe it was a connection or a relationship that you were hoping for, and it did not quite pan out in the way that you wanted it to, and it is no longer viable for whatever reason, or just at least currently it is not a viable option. This just is saying, like, don't give up entirely on, like, making this connection. So if you're looking for love and you thought you found it, you put all this time, effort, emotional investment into it, and it didn't work out, and now, we're feeling dumb. That's what happens. You meet somebody, you're really, really excited about them. Ace of Pentacles is talking about being excited, new venture, new investment. Like I said, I do sometimes read Pentacles as relationships because I view emotions and feelings as investments. So I do like to look at it that way as well. We were excited about it. We put a lot of investment into it. Maybe we put a lot of focus and we charged ahead a little too quickly. So Knight of Wands. Knights are cards of action. They are getting stuff done. And the wand is kind of like inspiration. I also view it as focus. So to me, what that's saying, it could be saying a couple different things, because we are viewing this in the context of a potential difficulty that we might encounter. So there's two messages I'm getting from this suit of the wands, the Knight of the Wands, and that is, one, either we put too much focus on whatever this thing was. Maybe it's this relationship. So maybe we met somebody, we're real excited about it, real gung-ho about it, and we kind of jumped in a little bit too quickly, jumped in a little too head first, and we didn't have a good balance Okay, both of these cards to me specifically are kind of talking about either just alignment, but also a balance of your mind and your heart, your intellect with truth, justice, objectivity, and your emotion, feeling, loving connections, a balance between the two. I do have another deck where my very first deck actually, that has been my primary deck for a little while. Just I'm not using it right now. But the Justice card on that deck is actually in both hands holding, like, one is holding a heart, the other is holding a brain. Just signifying that balance between the head and the heart, maybe intuition and ego, maybe objectivity, subjectivity. So there always has to be a balance, right? And so this is really telling you, advising you, warning you, have a balance. Don't go into it too intensely. Someone else had a similar message about, I want to say maybe it was Leo, the video I also have to redo now, but it was a similar message of, like, someone might be coming into your life and it may seem like a really awesome connection, but don't move too quickly. Be mindful, be a little bit more logical about these connections. The other thing I want to note about Knight of Swords, I always God, that's so weird. Okay, so I always call swords wands, and now for the first time I called wands swords. And, like, I don't know why I do that. I've done it so many times. I've written it wrong, and, like, I don't know why I do that. So take that for however that resonates with you. Wands and swords to me apparently are interchangeable. So, or have a very strong correlation. This Knight of Wands, I almost did it again. Oh my goodness. This Knight of Wands, other than maybe being a little too focused, a little too gung-ho on whatever it is, it could also be signifying that you have too many things that you're trying to do, like you're a little too gung-ho, too many things are catching your attention. We need to focus it down and be a little bit more specific on how we want to combat things, especially looking at this Seven of Swords in reverse, which to me, Seven of Swords is just a bombardment of situations, of not positive situations. The Eight of Swords is one of my favorite cards in the deck. And I've been having a lot of, like, 8, 9, 10 of Swords come up in a lot of the other readings as well. And Eight of Swords is talking about, like, you find yourself in this circumstance, but you're able to, reevaluate, and you can get yourself out of that circumstance if you want to. You just have to be mindful and you have to choose it. But the 7, obviously preceding the 8, is going to be that negative circumstances that is going to lead us to the 8. Okay, so in the reverse, this right here is telling me that you have some internal struggle, some internal doubts, kind of just like eating away at you. Okay, eating away at your self-confidence. We have this Empress in reverse. Why? We're having some self-confidence issues, some self-assurance issues. We're doubting ourselves. We don't think we can do it, but we can. So if we maintain balance, and if we maintain an open mind to things coming our way, okay? I wanted to go somewhere with that. Where was it? Okay, yes. When I say continue to work on it, or we are open to the idea of working on it. If we're doing that, let's make sure that we are actually open to working on it. Once again, Chalice, Ace of Cups, open to new opportunities. Okay, well, the new opportunity is working on it, okay? Let's not let a bunch of negative self-talk, a lot of us not nurturing ourselves, let's not let that cloud our capacity for improving this, okay? I feel like I skipped over this oracle card, so let's just do all the oracle cards right now. Tree of Souls, Collective Wisdom, Kinship Group, Library. This is just saying, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out. I feel like this is also, this Four of Cups also signifying that you being the one cup up here, and this cup is empty. Yeah, we don't know for certain, but I believe that cup to be empty. That cup is you. You are empty. You need to be refilled. Your emotions are spent. These three at the bottom are full. They could represent family, friends, coworkers, any sort of community support that can help refill you. You know, if you, this is a great actual depiction of this, because if you are this like empty chalice, right, you're a single chalice, and there's other three that we can see, and we can see that they are completely full. You don't have to drain one of those in order to fill yours up. They can each give you a third, which is going to leave them a little bit lower, but they're not going to be like empty. And they can each give you some, and then you guys are all going to end up being equal at that point, or not even that point. You're going to be like totally full. So they don't even have to give you that, but the math doesn't matter, okay? I'm getting a little too mathematical here. The point being, they don't have to drain themselves to refill you, because there are multiple of them. So this is just saying, you know, reach out, and don't also expect one person to be able to meet all your emotional needs. That goes for relationships too, any kind of relationship, whether it is romantic or platonic. Make sure that you are not relying on a single individual to meet your emotional needs, because that's a lot for a single individual. So, you know, safety in numbers. Also, we have got play. So earlier, I do want to note this, because I do feel like this is really important. Earlier, when I tried to record this, I did get to this card. I mentioned it very kind of passively, lackadaisically. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, play, have fun, yada, yada, yada. I was speaking of it in kind of a manner that was not emphasizing or giving weight to its importance. So this card is very important. All of the cards are very important, but I specifically want to note that I spoke of it in that manner, and immediately was given a reprimand, if you will, that I needed to put more gravity on the card and what this means. So I just want to preface this with that, because you're not going to be able to see that in this video, because I've already had that encounter, and technology has not been working with me today. So it didn't even record, so I can't even like splice it in. But anyways, this is saying that whatever we're going through, whatever it is that we invested this time and this money and this effort and whatever into, and it didn't work out, and we're feeling upset about it, and you know, maybe we're having this negative self-talk, and just this overall feeling of not being fulfilled, not being happy. Maybe we're having like creative block. Maybe we are being short with friends and family. You know, just have like a low fuse right now. That could be very, very much a thing if we're frustrated, especially with relationships in our life that can kind of bleed into other relationships, and we have to be careful of that. So this play is saying you have to make sure that you are still having fun, playing, doing things just for the sake of doing them just because you enjoy doing them, and they bring you joy and fulfillment and happiness. And we can't lose that, because if we get too wrapped up in whatever it is that's not working, that we're upset about, we're going to be in this stress mode. And we're probably going to be operating in this stress mode pretty much all of the time, because collectively, we're not super great at getting out of that mindset. I know that I have spent basically my whole life in this stress depression mindset. It is a spiral, and it's hard to get out of. And so if that is you, if that is something that you resonate, that feeling of not being able to break this cycle of depression or anxiety or negative thinking, or replaying old loops over and over and over again, which now become patterns in your life that you are actually like, not only are you replaying them in your mind mentally, but now you're also living them out because you're living them mentally. As within, so without, as above, so below. You know, what we are doing on the inside is going to come out on the outside as well. And so, all of that to say, if we are operating in this stressful, negative environment, there's no way that we can really probably come from a place of gratitude, of thankfulness, of happiness, of joy. And those are the places we need to be in order to manifest a positive outcome in our life, because we're trying to talk about forward momentum, okay? So forward momentum, we do one good thing and that starts to snowball, 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 and now we have manifested into whatever it is that we are trying to manifest into our life. This Ace of Pentacles, okay? I know it's a perceived challenge, but you know, I also like to just look at the cards as they are presented. I do read intuitively. This spread is my spread, so the cards say what the cards say. Anyways, have fun. Do things for fulfillment, enjoyment, and happiness, not for material things. That way you will be able to come from a place of gratitude and happiness and thankfulness. And from that place, from that area of life is where we can start to make these changes. You know, that's the Two of Cups, is like fulfillment and unity and to become one and like just perfect harmony. You know, we're only going to get that from a place of happiness and gratitude. Holy cow. I'm just all over the place with you guys today. I'm so sorry. But, you know, I'm human, and this is just like human stuff. Like, it's funny because I think at one point in time, I wanted to start a YouTube channel for like a really long time. And I always just felt like it was never going to be professional enough or look good enough, or I don't have a camera. You know, just all these things, that these self-limiting beliefs. And I just have decided to just not care. So, you know, like my first video, the audio was trash. And one of my other videos, I'm like totally out of the frame for half the video. And my dog is doing dog things. And I'm, you know, I'm like dropping cards and smacking the table. But like, I'm a person, I'm human. And like, it makes, you know, why I think at another point in life I would have edited that out. But I just want to be like authentically me and give you like just the real accurate depiction of how this message is coming across. And I think even though that's not necessarily like, you know, I feel actually now for some reason I was called to look at this card as I am explaining that, and this was the one oracle card we haven't talked about yet. This says, never jam to date, promises that never come to be, empty words, not living in the now. So I think I was called to look at this card in this message that I'm talking about being like authentic and living in the now, is that like I just accept that I am who I am, and I'm not ashamed of that, and it brings me fulfillment to, you know, lead my life in the most honest way possible. And I'm also encouraging you to do that. Maybe whatever it is that is causing this disappointment. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. So I think what's happening is you did something. Not you did something, but there was something about you that this person just didn't connect with, or they didn't like, or whatever, or they rubbed them the wrong way or something like that. And so they ended whatever type of relationship you guys had. But and now you're feeling some type of way about it, like you're feeling kind of self-conscious about it, like, well, if I wasn't like this, then, you know, let's take being sensitive, because I'm a really sensitive person, and this is a thought I've had a lot in my life, especially in regards to relationships, very specifically about relationships, actually. So I'm just going to use this as an example. If it resonates, take it. If not, or the concept does, apply it elsewhere in whatever way makes sense for you. So in relationship context, I could be in a relationship and maybe it doesn't work out, and in the aftermath of whatever not working out, I can sit there and be like, man, I just wish I wasn't so sensitive. If I wasn't so sensitive, I wouldn't have been upset about XYZ, and maybe this would have worked out, right? And we can't sit here and blame things that actually are important to us, because when we sit here and say, man, if only I wasn't so sensitive, this wouldn't work out. But I am sensitive, and I don't need to change this aspect of me. Now, granted, everyone has things that they need to work on. That's not what I'm alluding to here. Everyone has areas of their life that they can improve, even areas that they're already good in that they can improve. So this is not saying that anyone is perfect and that we don't need to stop doing self-work, because we always need to be doing self-work. But what this is saying is sometimes we have these characteristics about ourselves that we perceive to be negative, that we are viewing only in a negative and disappointing light and not in a positive mindset. And it's causing us to not feel good about ourselves, to not nurture and love ourselves, to not come from a place of nurture and love. And because of that, we view these relationships as obstacles that we created, Seven of Swords, internal struggle, internal bombardment of pain and affliction and chaos. So it's okay to be you. I mean, really, that's kind of just a lot of words to say. It's okay to be you, and don't feel like you need to change that just because it wasn't one person's cup of tea. It just wasn't that person's cup of tea. They just weren't your person. And that's kind of a hard thing to accept, and that's been something that I personally have been really working on, is how I take rejection from relationships where it seemed like everything was going to go really, really well, and then it didn't. This whole cycle. I'm not, actually, I say I'm not a Virgo. I do have a Virgo rising, so this is applicable to me. Maybe that's why I feel very connected. I do feel very connected to this spread and this message. But I have been in those situations where I put something into a relationship and the relationship didn't work out. And in the past, I have sat there and been like, God, what's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Why do I not get love? Why do I not get, let me rephrase that. Why do I not get love from this specific type of a relationship I am seeking? Because I do have people in my life that do love me unconditionally. I do not want them to be dismissed in this. I want to be acknowledging of their love for me and my love for them. They are very important people in my life. So, once again, I speak intentionally, my words have meaning, and so I want to make sure I am conveying them as accurately as possible. But this is saying, or my example is saying, that in these relationships, I come out of them, and it's usually from a place of, they're ending it from a place of praise, oh, you're so great, but this isn't why it's going to work out. And maybe everyone ends relationships like that just because it's nice to do. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe they don't even mean it, but it doesn't matter because I feel good about the person that I am. And so now I'm able to look at that and go, you know what? You're right. I am a awesome catch. I can sit here and I can be confident. It's okay to be confident in the person that you are and to be like, hell yeah, I am a catch. And I do bring a lot to the table. And it's okay to be confident in that. It's not egotistical. When you start crossing into I'm better than everyone else, okay, now we're getting into some ego stuff that we need to kind of review. And actually, you know what? As I say that, I look down. Key considerations for the month. The moon in reverse. Moon in reverse. We got moon in reverse, death in reverse, tower in reverse. Holy crap. Okay, let's keep going with this idea. It's okay to be confident in the person that you are, but do not let that boil over into being egotistical, into this shadow self, into this low vibration energy, into just this not good manifestation of that attitude. But it is okay to love yourself, and it's okay to come out of these relationships and be like, I am great. This just wasn't the connection for me for whatever reason. And I do believe that everything that happens in life has a part to play, you know? Every decision has a pathway, every cause has an effect. And even if we do something that maybe in the moment, or even in retrospect, we're like, wow, I kind of wish I hadn't done that, or we regret something. I don't have regrets, because I believe that every choice, every decision that I make has led me to the place that I am today. And even if I'm in a not good place, hopefully at some point I will be able to look back and reflect on it and be like, now I understand why that time of my life was the way that it was. And I understand that when I was in it, I could not see it for what it was. But now that I am through it, I'm outside of it, I have taken the action to get through it. Now I can see it with a new perspective. Okay. So I really went off on a tangent there. Be yourself. It's okay to be yourself. Actually, let's like I said, let's keep that idea, this authenticity of being yourself, because I'm getting a very strong feeling now that I'm like really kind of looking at this whole spread in that context. I'm getting a really strong feeling that that is something that you need to hear, Virgo. Two of Cups, two becoming one. You know, if you're not living your authentic self, then you are not in alignment with yourself, and you're not nurturing who you truly are on the inside. And maybe you're ignoring this aspect of yourself for whatever reason, maybe because someone else has made you feel bad about it. For me, it was being sensitive. And honestly, now it's like one of my favorite things about myself. I feel, you know, my sensitivity is what, it's a gift. It's what helps me do this. It's what helps me spread this message. It's this, you know, and the empathy that I feel, and it just allows me to do things that fulfill me. So, yeah, be yourself, be proud of yourself. Enough about me. I talked a lot about me in this one, maybe because, yeah, anyways. Anywho, let's talk about these bottom considerations. Let's get you out of here, Virgo. I've talked to you a lot today, considering this is like my third attempt at filming this. But so the moon, like I said, shadow work. I think the moon, no matter what orientation it is in, is talking about shadow work. Now, cool correlation I want to talk about. We also have the Tower in reverse. The Tower is talking about breaking down of old structures that were very faulty, they're very flimsy, easy to break. One bolt of lightning, granted, like one bolt of lightning is like pretty intense, but one bolt of lightning hits this tower, it crumbles to the ground. These people are jumping out of the tower to, you know, save their lives. It's a very intense situation. It's a very emotionally taxing process and situation, and it's scary, and it's not going to feel good. But it has a purpose. And that purpose is so that we can rebuild something on top of that that's going to be more sturdy, more foundational, that is going to be able to stand the test of time. And if another lightning bolt hits it, like, I'm ready for you now because I learned my lesson last time, okay? So the moon has these rebuilt towers behind them. And the moon does come, there is one card in between. So it would be tower, star, moon would be like the direction that the tarot would go in. But I just want to point out that these towers are rebuilt. So we have rebuilt more sturdy structures, but we need to just make sure we're not letting illusionary thoughts, ego, shadow self, old traumas coming back up into the picture kind of cloud our judgment on that, okay? And to go along with the tower, we have death in reverse. And death is, a lot of people like view death really negatively. I love the death card. I'm also a Scorpio, so death is also my card. So maybe that's why I love the card so much. It probably is. But death is just about rebirth, cycles, beginning and ending. And, you know, we do have that pentacle, which is a beginning of a cycle. We have a 2. But there's not a strong propensity in this spread about cycles, but death and the Tower definitely are both about rebirth, destruction of something old in order to cultivate something new. However, with the death in reverse, and also I want to note this about the Tower as well, death in reverse is reluctancy to change. And something I want to talk about with the Tower is that it also can be in reverse a reluctancy to accept change. It is, we see on the horizon, maybe this storm is coming. We know that our structure is not sturdy enough. It is not going to weather the storm. And we are trying to just delay the inevitable. We're doing whatever we can. Maybe we're putting like sandbags in front. Maybe we have a castle, okay, this huge ass castle. We're putting sandbags in the front of this castle, okay? Like, is it really going to do anything when this huge bolt of lightning strikes the building? Absolutely not. We're just like wasting time and energy and thinking we're doing something, but we're just wasting time and energy. And the inevitable is going to happen, and we need to accept that, and we need to just embrace it wholly, because like I said, if we're coming from a place of stress, in a place of inability to accept things and be grateful and have gratitude and anything that's just going to be a positive influence in our life, it's going to be hard to move in a positive direction. We're going to get stuck. We're going to get stuck in these negative feelings, in this disappointment, in this shadow of this inability to accept change that is inevitable, okay? Overarching message here. Love yourself. There's nothing wrong with you the way that you are. That is not to say that we don't all have things to work on, because we do. But while you're working on whatever you're working on, whatever has caused you disappointment, whatever has not worked out for you in the past, maybe it's something you are trying to rekindle. Maybe it's something that you are leaving an old situation behind and you are going into a new one, but it's kind of like the same realm of things like dating or a new career or a new business venture or a new creative project. Just be open and mindful to opportunities. Be your authentic self. Make sure that everything you are doing is in alignment with what you truly want, and make sure you are staying focused on the outcomes of those goals and aspirations. And when you have difficulties that come your way, go with the flow. Don't resist. Everything has a reason. Every purpose, or excuse me, every choice, there's a purpose behind it. Whether you go direction A or direction B, they're going to lead you somewhere. So just go with the flow. Don't resist it, and be balanced in your mind and heart, and that will lead you in the direction that you need to go. Thank you so much for joining me today, Virgo. You guys, this was kind of difficult to get through. I'm so sorry. I know it's a little choppy, but I hope that you made it through with a good message. And please leave a comment if this resonated with you. And I hope to see you back for your March tarot forecast. Have a great day.